I told the universe, you know what? I've seen it. I've seen what being a human is like. I understand it now. I get it. You walk around in this fleshy body, you got bones and shit on the inside, you touch things, you feel things, you experience emotions, fall in love, hate things, fucking swim in the ocean, fly through the sky, all of this. I've experienced it. I get it. I'm actually kind of bored of it. I know everything there is to know about this Earth and the solar system and all of that around it. I get it. I'm actually kind of bored and over it. I want to see what the next level is.
Doing a meditation a couple of days ago, and I also sat down. I like something I've never done. It's gonna sound so weird, but have you ever felt what your skin feels like? Genuinely sat down and like felt what it feels like to feel your skin. It's weird, dude. You don't realize how fine you can feel, or like feel a wall or something like that. It's incredible how detailed your sense of touch is.
So now I want to trip you guys out. Look at something in your room. Imagine licking it. You know what the texture feels like already.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't want to lick a wall, but
But you know what? You can already imagine what the texture feels like.
Gets up, licks a wall.
Like, look at anything. Look at anything, and you'll be like, what would it feel like to lick that? And then you'll realize you already know what that.
Yeah, like. But that's like old news, bro. We all know that fucking.
Yeah, but how?
How, dude?
How? Because you were a freaking child and you licked everything. That's the whole purpose behind.
I didn't do that.
When you were a fucking baby, you went and ate sand, bruh. And if you didn't, I'm sorry for you. You should have eaten some sand. That's a hell of an experience.
As strong as I am, like I was talking today about eating bugs, dude. I don't know if you guys ever ate bugs.
Fuck
as
that.
a kid.
I remember one occasion. This is one of the strangest things that's ever happened to me, and I remember it very, very distinctly because I'm pretty sure this is exactly what happened. Is that, you know how you're in that groggy state when you just come out of sleep, right?
Yeah.
And I fucking remember this as clear as day. I was in that groggy state, and I feel something crawling into my mouth. And I was in that position of like, I really don't give a fuck. I just want to keep sleeping right now. This thing went in my mouth, and I just.
Like,
I know for a fact I ate a fucking spider in that moment, and it's more common than you think.
Yeah.
Like if you look it up statistically, I don't know how they do these studies.
Yeah, I have no idea. The 7 spiders a year thing. Yeah.
I don't know how they do these studies, but
the fact that you know about one of them is already too much, dude. Like, like spiders are kind of softish as well. Like their eggs.
I'm pretty sure I chowed on a spider that night, bro. Like no jokes.
Like midnight protein snack, dude. Can I get yolk?
And I didn't give a fuck. The next morning I woke up and I was like,
I should just think.
What have I done? What have I done?
You on a spider, like.
I have an interesting question. Would any of you actually eat insect meat?
Yeah,
like
100%.
As a substitute.
Like if it got turned into a maize and baked into a bread or something, and I'm
sure,
like,
absolutely.
This is like a 20% protein insect, or 20%.
Have you watched Snowpiercer, bro?
No, it's not gonna be gelatinous bars, dude. It's gonna be like baked goods, probably. If anything, you can substitute flour for it, bro. You can get some protein with your breads, for example, and it's basically indistinguishable. You can't taste it. If it tastes like bugs, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, it's not animals, right? We can totally genocide some bugs.
Dude, the thing is, like the reason it makes sense is because it's scalable vertically, and they use significantly less water. And then you can also use like scraps from the city to feed them. So it's all around pretty good.
It takes a metric shit ton of bugs to feed a human being, one human being.
Dude, like they literally produce billions of them. Dude,
yeah,
like
dude, what do you mean?
I like. Fair enough, homie, but it's still a lot of freaking bugs to feed one human being per day.
Yeah,
but here's it though. Like they're about, I think, 90% more efficient with water than cattle. So that's the point, dude. It's not about the amount of people that we can feed with them. It's about shifting our protein needs or protein. What do you call it?
Start an ant farmer, bro. Start growing your own ants.
The best is actually crickets, dude.
And start learning how to cook them. Stick them in a tray, put an oven on,
I thought you were gonna say stick him in a stew, and I was
I
gonna
was
be like,
literally
hey,
thinking the same thing.
dude.
Dude. Stick him in a
hey,
stew.
dude, I don't
Some
know.
Boil them,
potatoes.
mash them, stick them in a
Stick him in a
stew.
stew.
Stick him in a stew.
God damn it, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, dude. Well, we all grew up in the same time. We grew
No,
up so we.
that's the strangest thing to me. You know how much, and this is like being a fan of both of the franchises, right? It freaks me out how many people were huge fans of Harry Potter, right? When clearly Lord of the Rings was like a million times better. I'm sorry to say it. Hate me if you want to.
there's a real reason for that as well. Like where Lord of the Rings was more fantasy in the way of like, oh, look at that amazing world. Harry Potter was like, oh, that could be me for a lot of people, and they became so obsessed with it because it was like, I want to be a
Yeah.
wizard as well.
I guess it was more relatable, and that's where J.K. Rowling sort of punched Tolkien in the balls. She just she just took the idea of fantasy and was like, what if it was in the real world?
World.
And she even went as far
Funnily
as to
enough, though, I find that to be one of the most interesting ideas for fantasy. Is take what we understand as reality and then just huck some fantasy into it. It always brings up like this weird. A good example of it is the SCP universe, like
SCP?
where SCP.
Oh, dude, the SCP universe is huge,
Dude,
and frankly,
dude,
not many people actually know about it. And
I don't know about it.
I don't even know that much about it. The only
I
reason
know
I do know about it is because of my friends, because of like you, Johan, and Duncan, and Thomas.
So the
Um,
SCP universe it's called Secure, Contain, Protect, and it is a department of the SCP Foundation that is responsible for maintaining and containing all anomalous effects in the universe.
it's like
Are you
Men
talking
in
about
Black, but
Loki now?
No. The
no, this
SCP
is
it's a
way
Have you
way
seen
different.
Have you
different, dude.
seen Loki?
No.
Oh,
But it might. I would not. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something with the
Very similar.
multiverse.
It's probably a very similar idea, but the way I see SCP is more like a more serious Men in Black.
So
Yeah, it's
like basically, like they basically give this away in the first episode of Loki.
yeah.
The entity that they're dealing with there, I've already forgotten the name, but it's basically they are in charge of the timeline. So anytime there's a variant, like something that happens that is going to disrupt the timeline, they're like the police that comes and corrects those things. And Loki escaping from the MCU with the Tesseract the way that he did wasn't supposed to happen. So he became like virgin from the timeline, and then they came like, oh no, you're gonna get bonked. Yeah.
Dude, now in the
Watch Loki,
SCP
dude.
universe, there's there's this one project called Project. It's not Project Pegasus. It's something else, Project Phoenix or something like that. And what that is they discovered one day that timelines are being something. And
Dormammu.
so the original timeline went and found anomalous objects and are currently manufacturing millions upon billions of extra timelines to put between them and the thing that is eating timelines so that they have more time to figure out how the fuck to stop that. In the same universe, there is like this crocodile that's unkillable. You cannot kill it. Even it is left if a plank length of the thing survives, it can regrow itself. Like it is just anomalous
Like
as fuck.
Deadpool.
There's this one slide that if you slide down it at a certain time during the day, you're transported to another dimension that's just a circular slide hole. That's it. That's where you die. And if you do recordings of the area, then your last few words just keep repeating through your dead carcass. Like the thing is weird. It is
Like,
weird.
is this a
dude.
series or something?
It's
A
what would you call
collected
it?
document.
Yeah, it's collected fan written documents, and there are people moderating what gets said on it. So it's like this open source
Like a
space.
forum.
Yeah, for anybody that wants to write weird and quirky things into reality, they can. So I think it's a really, really cool area for building ideas and that. It's just a cool storytelling medium. It's where people can express creativity on a level that I haven't seen before.
That is really cool, actually. I mean, that's just basically what we try and do with each other as well as like friends, where we talk about different like potential realities. This is just trying to unify that in a way where it's all coherent. I like it actually.
Dude.
You know what I
Well-
just noticed?
What?
Is I like the transition from my perspective, from left to right between us. I'm busy drinking a beer, Johan is rolling a J, and Estian is drinking juice.
Yes, I am holier than thou. I don't drink alcohol and smoke weed. All I do is drink juice. Yes.
Well,
And that's what we're all aiming for at the end of the day, bro.
nah, dude. What
level up system.
the fuck are you talking about? I will do this shit for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like I just smoked a joint on
I-
stream as well. I still haven't
I'm a
loved it.
broom. I want to reach that level where I don't need this stuff. I don't need ciggies. I don't need weed.
need this.
You don't
I don't
any
need
of it.
mushrooms.
I don't need food. I don't need
need fuck
oxygen. I don't
Fuck
need
food.
gravity.
I don't need this body. I don't need reality. I
Dude,
don't need time.
I just imagine one day your belief is so strong and gravity doesn't exist, you just start floating.
Just
How
like, oh,
trippy that would be.
I can't believe gravity again. Boom,
Okay,
boom, boom.
This is something that I do want to talk with about, like this experience that I had recently. It's a very, very interesting story. I just want to hit the bathroom real quick, and this is going to happen quite often in the stream. I'm so sorry about it, but like my metabolism is honestly on a different level. I
I do not
apologize
care.
in advance.
I do
Be
not
right
care.
back.
We'll see you when
Uh,
you're back, dude. How have you been,
Uh,
yo?
dude, I have been fantastic. Like genuinely, genuinely fantastic. I wrote my last exam Wednesday. So me, good. Me yesterday, very
Cruising a
actually,
little bit.
dude. Funny enough, Wednesday I was the most hyper I've been in so long. Cause I wrote at 12 to 3, and then 3 to when I went to sleep was just like me going the whole fucking day.
Yeah,
And
like
then the
little kid
next
happy.
day, I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing anything. I didn't meditate. I did nothing. I got onto the Discord. Everyone's like, "How are you okay? You're so quiet and down." I'm like, yeah, I'm lethargic. Today I'm relaxing. And now today I am back to me. I am casual and it is love. It is great to be alive. That is the best way I can put it. It
That,
has been sick.
that has been resonating so true, man. It's
So
just
on the
great to be
topic
alive.
on the topic of reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also like timelines and all of these things and all of our perceptions and everything that we've been experiencing and being alive. Something very strange happened to me about
Damn it.
about a year and a half ago, where
Mm-hmm.
I hit a very low point, and I went to bed with this mentality where I told the universe, you know what, I've seen it. I've seen what being a human is like. I understand it now. I get it. You walk around in this fleshy body, you got bones and shit on the inside, you touch things, you feel things, you experience emotions, fall in love, hate things, fucking swim in the ocean, fly through the sky, all of this. You know, I've experienced it. I get it. I'm actually kind of bored of it. I know everything there is to know about this Earth and the solar system and all of that around it. I get it. I'm actually kind of bored and over it. I want to see what the next level is. That's the sort of broad thought that I went to bed with. And that night I had a dream. In that dream, I remember it distinctly like it happened yesterday. I walked into this space where it was a garden, just plain green grass, and this gray building, and it had a bar on the inside, and I could hear people talking on the inside, but I couldn't see them. And I was walking towards this bar, and the only entities I could see was this homeless man with gray hair and a gray beard and gray clothes as well, sitting cross-legged, leaning against the wall, just looking at me. Old hobo man. And in the garden, there was a gypsy woman dancing, covered in sarongs, covered in scarves and bells, smiling as happy as ever. It was just doing her thing, just doing this gypsy dance in the garden, enjoying herself. And then on the other wall, perpendicular to the one the hobo was on, was this gypsy man with a leather hat and a wooden pipe, and he was stuffing it full of tobacco and occasionally looking up at me and stuffing his pipe, getting ready to smoke it. And he spoke to me, he addressed me, and he said, Okay. So you think you've seen it all? You think you know it all? You've had it all. You want to go to the next level? Okay. We'll show you the next level. The gypsy woman came dancing up to me, smiling all brightly and all of that, and she just brushed my face with one of her sarongs. It was like a hit of it was like a hit of DMT suddenly out of nowhere, and I was shot into this other space where I didn't have a body, I didn't have any senses, I didn't have any concept of what was going on around me. I didn't know what was it was like static and noise and everything was it was like being a baby in a womb. You don't know what's happening around you. You can't process. You don't have knowledge to go back onto. Everything is just chaos, complete and utter chaos. And it was just fucking terrifying. It was horror. I was like, what the fuck am I? Where am I? What's going on? I don't know what's happening. And I'm just screaming. I'm screaming like ah, like I don't know what the fuck is happening around me. And I'm like, no, I don't want this. Take me back. Take me back right the fuck now. Take me back to the things I know. I shoot back into my body. I wake up in my bed and I'm like, no, no, I'm happy here. I'm happy here. I know what's going on here. I know what this is. I know flesh, I know sound, I know taste and the human world. I'm okay. I'm happy here. Fuck that other
Dude,
place. Fuck that other place. And that's when it hit me. The unknown is the most terrifying thing to us human beings. And on top
yeah.
of that, I am so not fucking ready for that shit.
Nope. Dude. So I weirdly enough, I don't think. Okay, I'm
And
gonna.
just to finish off the
Yeah.
story, sorry to interrupt you,
No,
Jan, and
no
and,
worries,
uh,
man.
and that's when I was like, despite what they put me through, that terror and that horror for the brief couple of seconds that was in my dream, I have this firm belief that I did not conjure that up in my mind, that those three entities that I saw in there did not come from me and my imaginings or the chemical reactions in my brain. It literally felt like they came from the outside, and it literally felt like, and it's such a silly thing to say, such a strange, bizarre thing to say, but it felt like they were friends.
So
It felt like they were friends that I had known before that came to speak to me and they could see that I was heading down a path that was not okay. And they were like, for fuck's sake, do we have to pull you back again?
I said, do we have to show you again, motherfucker?
Do we
God
have to
damn it,
we
dude.
have to pull you back? Jesus, man. Okay, fuck. Okay, we'll show you again. We'll pull you back again.
So interesting as you say that, because I've been thinking a lot about how we process thoughts in our brain and how thoughts can't occur without outside influence as best we currently understand it. So that to me, and at least to how it feels, this is a very hard thing to logic because our brains don't really understand it. Your brain can't understand yourself. You kind of or understand the mind. You kind of just have to kind of feel it out. It's hard to explain, but yeah. So the thought I was having was that if our minds and brains are only impacted by the outside world, then our minds must have some actual influence from somewhere upon the physical. Even if it is just via the brain because of how the brain is set up in the quantum level, but that would mean that your mind does actually exist outside of your body. And something like an experience like that, where people say it's so real, or a DMT experience, to me, what that feels like there's this song by Babylos that called Time. You've both heard it, or it talks about dreams and how the mind dreams continuously. And I have a big feeling that that might be correct in our understanding of dream. Our understanding of dreams is that it is an experience outside your body that is, we think of as less real than the outside. But I don't think so. I think that entire experience is your actual mind's experience without any of the blockage or framework of reality.
So,
And
like,
yeah.
no, please. I thought you
No,
were finished.
no. I'm done. I'm done.
So, like, it's curious to me that both of you talk about this now, like, because I was listening to a Terence McKenna talk today, like a 52-minute one, and he actually went into detail about how humanity and the way we are as humans right now is almost shying away from that unknowingness. You know, that part of our natures in which we can get so completely cast where we don't know anything. And we have, in basically this disconnection with this not know mind, we have started to assimilate that we do know. And we're like, yeah, you know, like, oh, we all know all of these physical properties of the universe. We know all of these things about the expansion of it, all of these things about physics, all of these laws of nature. We know what's going on. But I think the reason we have basically formed this very naive understanding of us understanding is because we're so far disconnected from those states of existence, where, like, you, Christian, got pulled back there because you forgot as well. You were like, oh, I know. That's literally the basis of why you got fucked up. It's like, oh, I know what this feels like. I know what this human experience is about. And then you got shown that not know. And that not know is what's actually the most out there. This knowing is the exception, dude.
And I think that's kind of what we're going through right now as a human race as well, is we're coming to fathom more and more just how much we don't know.
Yeah.
So in intelligence and knowledge is knowing facts and knowing what we know. Wisdom is knowing what we don't know.
And I think a big portion of it as well comes down to realizing that we know very little. And that is the problem, because we finally hit the stage where humanity understands to a decent degree what we don't know. And the by that I mean in science, we understand where we could get. We can fathom how something like a Jupiter brain or a ring world or a Dyson sphere would work, but we understand that we have no idea how to do it. Bro, how the fuck do you put something around the sun in a stable orbit and then direct it to within literal millimeters? If you change it a nanometer at the sun, 100 million kilometers away, obviously the gap's going to be up to like 100, 150 degrees. You're going to miss the planet. So many intricate things are becoming more unaware, and I think that is actually the basis of learning. Learning comes from learning what you don't know. And then as you get used to what you don't know, it becomes knowledge. And thus you keep finding out about the stuff you don't know.
This is such a trip as well, because like I was watching this Joe Rogan snippet, if you will, where he was talking to this mathematician. And this mathematician basically came to the conclusion that there has to be something about our consciousness that's incomputable. Because in the logic that he used...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, dude, and it's a trip, dude. Like, this is a mathematician saying this as well.
And that's the strangest and most profound thing about it, because so far what we found about the universe is that there is some sort of mathematical equation that can explain it.
And that's what he was like talking about as well. He's like talking about how basically everything and all of the math we have right now is you can basically put it into a computer and it can make sense to that computer in quotation marks. But there is some sets of rules that you can like infer, and you can reach a true statement through human understanding, but you can't reach that same human statement through computer processing, like turning logic gates, for example. And to him, that was like a aha moment of realizing that there is some sort of quantum nature to our consciousness that is like making decisions almost externally from it being computed in the first place.
Yeah, it's like something.
To me, dude.
Math is the understanding of our physical reality. So if we're going to accept that the mind is outside it, then yeah, the mind is incomputable. It would never be, or what would be the right word? Summarized.
I don't think the biology and the chemistry of the math is incomputable. I think it is.
Like that's the thing as well.
What is not computable, though, is the result of that chemistry and biology.
He was talking about how you can basically on a level you can go down to like neurons and rendering individual neurons, putting all of the laws of the universe into this like computer system, and still it wouldn't be able to compute those things. And like the part that bothers me the most about that is, especially since we have this understanding of AI, right? We think of AI reaching a point of consciousness that is going to like surpass our consciousness. And now I'm thinking, what if that is maybe not even possible? How are we going to introduce mind into something that is computed through logic gates? Ooh, man, it's a trip. It's melting my mind.
Let me put it this way, Johan. Imagine our brains, your brain and
Mhm.
my brain, went exactly through the same neurochemical biological process.
Okay.
Would we produce the same result?
I don't know.
Me neither.
I don't know.
That's
It's
that's the funny question.
so
As in the argument Estian was presenting, it's like I firmly believe there's an infinite level of consciousnesses out there that above ours, above that one, above
Sure.
that
yeah,
one's that
way,
one.
way, way up. And
Um,
so I was actually thinking about something interesting as well. You know how we talk a lot about the I awareness and the I being the awareness behind experiences. And what I found so interesting by thinking about that is that awareness is then all that you actually care about for people, because it becomes a thing of how does that consciousness interact with the universe. Because what I feel like has happened now, and with our much in-depth dive into the physical, is we're labeling us so deeply into the physical that we've become lost to what we truly are. And that's why I find that your idea of there being infinite consciousness is upwards. I think every single time, I don't know where the actual consciousness comes from.
upwards as well, bro.
Ours.
Oh, I mean upwards and
And
downwards.
downwards. Yes, I agree. Downwards,
And like all
dude.
three.
My wonderment is, or my wonder is that, you know, I don't remember who on this podcast said it the first time, but is what if consciousness is kind of just like this ball, in the same idea as the universe, but this ball of consciousness leaks into the universe. It's part of the universe and it is the universe, and it's the leaking of this one true consciousness that produces levels of consciousness. So like it is, all consciousness stems from the same place. It's just how much do you tap into that consciousness. And I don't know
This,
how like
this is what bothers me, mathematically speaking, in terms of a source and an end. There's no such thing.
a source and an end in the sense of,
And you say that consciousness comes from this thing, right?
yeah,
This beginning.
yeah,
That bothers me because if we look at time on a single line, right?
uh,
And consciousness starts here, and this is what we consider the beginning,
mm,
the start of it all. That's not how it works, because it just the timeline goes infinitely backwards and
backwards.
also goes infinitely forwards. So we can't say that it started here. It could have started infinitely backwards over there. It could start infinitely forwards over there. We don't know where we are on this fucking line.
We
And
don't, but I also think we're kind of smack dab in the middle at the moment. If you look
yeah,
at
but no. We're then in that logic, we're constantly in the middle.
yeah, that's the trip. That is the trip, dude. That right there. Because it's not so much we notice this duality in our nature, right? The ones and the zeros, the ons and the offs, and it can really lead us to this duality reality mindset. But they're both these almost properties of the same thing at the end of the day. And being a property of the same thing, the thing experiences it neutrally in the middle of it. That's, I mean, like this is it's too much to compute for my small monkey brain.
Yeah, a small monkey brain, all of us. We're trying to compute this so hard, and that's where technology is going to help us more and more in future.
So much, dude.
Um,
I think
it's funny that everyone has started using the term duality reality.
No,
And
I use it
actually,
because I know you've written a poem, dude, and I want you to actually read it for our friends listening.
I'd like to see if I can find it. It's not here.
I think it is. We've talked about it so much, but I really do think it is the beginning of the awakening, in a broad
Oh,
sense of
we've always been in the beginning of the awakening, bro.
fair.
Okay,
I
so
feel. Yeah, go for it.
I did find it. It's a slightly long piece, but if you guys could lend me your patience,
Absolutely, I
this is
still have my
something
cup of coffee.
I wrote this while in the middle of my diving career, where I felt so alone despite everything that was happening to me. And I want you guys to listen to this. So I say, I close my eyes and hear it, an ocean, constantly inhaling, reminding me to breathe. Imagine such an existence of endless intaking sighs. Why is it that we exhale? Isn't it so strange how life demands a fixed and an opposite, a one and a zero, a yes and a no, duality reality that has created so much? We're never truly alone. Even as we sit with just ourselves, the ghosts of those who came before us are with us, right there where you are, laughing and crying with you. Memories in the air of the past and those yet to follow. My energy, a part of them, a mist in the everflow, indulging in its ectoplasmic perceptions. I too will be a spectre some day, seen by those in the now that choose to find me. I say welcome, brothers and sisters, and feel you greeting me in return. How magical it is to know we share this space, in the light and the dark of eternity. I feel you read these words I wrote, and will yet write. I will have you all know that I, with all of my power, want to exude love in your directions. I will embody a home for you to feel safe in, accepted in, acknowledged in. The sense we call knowledge, that is beyond the five primals, is a gift I cannot be grateful enough for receiving. I send out this message so that you may all know you are not forgotten, and you will live on forever through us in the present. Large and small, loud and silent, good and evil, you all have a place in the story that is beyond human and animal and rock and vacuum. With a humble heart I declare, you are beautiful.
Wow, dude. Wow, dude.
You are beautiful.
You are beautiful. What a nice ending statement.
That is
man.
beautiful, man. Thank you
There's
so
so
much
much
for sharing
in
it with me as
there.
well, dude.
Like I'm trying to remember all of it and unpack it in my mind, and it's weird. That's the interesting thing with poetry. You can't really do it. You can't you don't really unpack the finer details. It's the broad message that
Feeling.
comes through, the feeling.
Ooh, man, I've been thinking about like I've been on a Joe Rogan stint as of late, actually watching different people communicate with him, especially since communication has become such a big part of my life as well now. Like watching people talk about things and watching the way they choose to articulate has just been expanding my mind in new ways. And he was talking to this guy about a DMT trip that he had as well, like an ayahuasca ceremony trip, where he saw things that he called perfected, or like in flow moments, as these actual bowls of essence that float from you into this great hall. And these bowls of essence, these perfect moments, these poems, these podcasts, if you will, basically float up to the heavens and spend time with other creations for eternity. And how that if you bring yourself truly and fully to something, you literally put pieces of your soul out into the universe through your expression, through your creation. And I saw you like basically homaging to that, and you're saying of like, I want to, project love in your direction. Like that's what you're doing, dude. That's that light being given up to the universe, man.
It's at the end, no matter what your dance is in this life, no matter what your music is, your song, your frequency, even if it seems like you're not making that much of an influence, the intention behind it is far more important. Far more
I agree.
important. Even if you're not changing the world or saving people, if you're giving everything of yourself to just spread love, care, compassion, wonder, beauty, splendor, adventure, excitement, all,
Dude,
all, all of
I
these things. If you're trying your hardest to, with all of your heart, to influence everything around you with these wonderful things,
yeah, I think
you
that
have to. I'm sorry. I don't care how unfair reality is. I'm gonna be the piece of it that's going to reach out to you and be like, I see you, brother. I'm going to grab onto you. Fuck the rest of the shit that's going on in the fucking explosions and death and crying and like fucking forget that shit. Don't worry about that. If that's someone else's problem. Come here. Come here. I will reach out to you. I will grab you.
And I believe the more we do that as well, like imagine now the reaching out and the grabbing, right? That's us holding onto each other's arms, dude. And then there's someone else that does that for the other arm. And then eventually we form this grid, this layer of love
Bro,
all over
it
this
was
world, my friend.
the strangest DMT trip my second time around, where I was staring up at the sky, and it was that almost the exact same sensation I had in my first one, where the sudden pattern started expanding outwards and spiraling down towards me. And it started off as a pattern, right? Then it started looking like this.
Mhm.
Clasped hands dancing around me, and then from those clasped hands, faces that were doing this, like, and it
That's
started coming
so
towards me,
cool.
and then it was like, I was like, what the fuck
Oh,
is going on here?
I'm
dude.
vibing, but I'm scared.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it was like, yes, I know. I know that.
dude, I think you are changing the world every single time you clasp somebody's hand. Every single time you do it, that reaching out and touching that one person makes the world of the difference.
You know how I try and visualize that reaching out and touching someone, you on like when you're standing in a friend group, right? And there's let's say 6 people in the friend group, so it's rare for you to get a speaking chance in a group like that. And someone starts
Mm.
saying something and gets interrupted and talked over. If you go to that person and say like, "Hey, you were gonna say something, man. Like I wanted to hear that." Dude, life changing, actual life changing, man. Like that,
Yeah.
it was life changing for me when someone did it for me, dude. And I realized in that moment just how important that is.
And how important it is for you to do that for other people.
Absolutely, dude. That's what I mean. You know, doing that, actually taking like,
It's
and
it's when
it's
it's when you see someone is trying so hard to speak out for something that is innocent and pure and wondrous and splendid, and they're not getting the chance to be heard. It's your responsibility
Good talk.
to give them a chance. It's not your choice or anything like that. It's your responsibility.
and the more
If
people
you
that take up this
if you want to
responsibility.
if you want to spread good, if you want to spread positivity and light and love out there, it's your responsibility to reach out a damn hand to those that are not being heard, those that are not getting that chance out there, that you could see.
I
Well,
I think
and
what
this
happens.
is why I hate it. I hate it when people kill magic
Uh,
because you can see it in like in social norms. Oh, that guy is so lame. He hasn't slept with 5 women. Fucking lame ass motherfucker. And then that mentality gets spread. All the other fucking twats. I'm like, what a fucking joke, bro. What a lame motherfucker. It's like, I've slept with 5 women. Have you slept with 5 women? Oh, yeah, I've slept with 5 women. Makes you think I haven't. Have you slept with 5 women? Yeah, dude, I've slept with fucking 5 women. I'm not lame like that guy. And it's the exact same effect. Exact same effect on the negative spectrum.
Yep.
If you take that,
Yeah.
switch it around.
And the thing is as well, it's the utilization of the same energy. You know, the energy you use to belittle someone, to break them down, it's literally, you can use it in the opposite direction as well. And I don't know how people don't realize this as well. I mean, I think maybe at the end of the day, it's like the ego trying to belittle others so that it feels better about itself. But in the actual fact, if you can transcend your ego, you realize that by uplifting others, you're uplifting yourself.
Yeah,
It
but
becomes
it's
a
so-
no-brainer.
It's
You know,
the whole
because it's so
argument.
weird
It's
to
the
me.
whole argument that Alan Watts makes as well. Is the harder you grip onto something and try to fucking force
Pull it
that thing
down,
down
yeah.
towards yourself, the more you lose it. It's the strangest thing. It's like the more you let go of it and let it be, and do things that isn't forcing anything. The more you
Reality
find it,
wants to
the
be
more
what
you
it wants to
find it,
be.
it comes towards you. It's like a cat. That's why I love cats. It's exactly like a cat. If you're gonna grab a cat, hold it and forcefully fucking pet this thing, it's gonna hate you. Like, get the fuck
Why
away
are
from
you
me,
doing?
bro. If
Oh,
you let it be and you're like, you wanna come over here? No? Okay. Okay. And then you try again respectfully, like, hey, do you want to come over here? No, oh, okay, and then eventually you like give up, and then the fucking thing comes for you.
yeah. Life is weird, man. That the whole thing of letting go to get what you want is such an odd phenomena. It feels so against our natural law. I'm gonna use quotations again because your body wants to have things and it wants to survive, but what it doesn't realize is that the actually giving people experiences rather than trying to keep them to yourself is so much more beneficial. You get to it just multiplies whatever you were going to experience. What's the point of I what's the point of driving alone in a Ferrari or having and working your entire life to the point where you are a dead salesman that hates life, or raising a family and actually spending time to love something and people that you care for and not making work your only thing?
I'll be right back. Sorry, boys.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I think
So
the biggest problem is just that people want to do what they think is gonna work, and they're so scared of trying something that is out of norm. So like you get caught, And I was a salesman as well at one point, and if I continued to get paid as much as I was getting paid initially, I probably would have continued doing that as well. Probably would not have went to China, and like like how much of it can I say was the result of my own decision making versus how much was as a result of like the payment scheme changing, and like the things that I happened to have done in my life led to some of the opportunities that I had. And I think again it was just about me going out there and trying to do things that had helped me to do that. If anything, people that get so used to not being happy in the way that they are and the things that they're doing almost sign off on being happy about other things as well. And not only do they sign off, they also try and belittle the happiness that others someone else is maybe
yeah.
experiencing about something. Like
Yeah, I
that's
think
that's the
people
thing that's
people
sad.
start accepting that, or accepting is the right word, that they'll never do something.
Hmm.
They don't think that it is still possible. I feel like it comes with being jaded. I really like that word because jaded means you get used to something over time and it loses its amazement. And I think that's what happens. You become kind
I've
of
always I've
bland.
always thought of jaded as like shady.
Jaded, nah, 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 nah. If you go look it up, it's pretty cool. It's a really cool word. You wouldn't think that jade and just adding it. I love words, man. I don't know how the fuck did somebody go jaded. That's the word for being like
Sick of
what's like
something.
sick of something over time. So, anyways,
So like that is the biggest thing as well, becoming jaded. Like I think there was a Star Trek like episode about that as well, where people eventually figured out how to like kill immortality, and immortality became the sickness because they hated everything. They've done everything.
Pure immortality.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't actually believe that to be true though. Like if I had to live 1,000 years, I still would not have seen like 10% of the planet.
Oh.
So like, and that's just our planet.
I'm afraid of the notion to live 1,000 years because, as in all things in life, there's an up and a down, good and a bad. And it's a Batman quote, but I don't want to be the hero that sees himself become a villain. You know,
You are the
Yeah,
die a
but
hero.
I
Or you live
firmly
long enough to see yourself become a villain. I don't believe in that either.
there's always a point where you break, and I think we're kind of blessed to live a time span that is around, I don't know, let's call it an average of 70, reaching up to 120. It's a good time. It's a good amount of time to be alive. A good amount of time. It really is. 'Cause-
I agree, but like my thing is, I don't think it's a necessity that you're gonna go evil or become
No.
bad over time.
no, of course not.
I
Of course
think-
not, Johan. But
Yeah,
it's difficult.
I agree. It's gonna be difficult. It's not gonna be easy. Like
I don't think you and I or anyone can fathom how difficult it gets to exist for that long.
yeah, I
Have you
wanna-
see, Christian? We've existed for as long as existence, dude.
Yeah, but we have a reset button. It's called death.
Oh, dat werkt niet. So Shantae is
No.
saying hi.
Hallo, hallo.
Hi.
Marcelo ook.
What
is
was I
het
gonna say?
Liefde en luchten. Is that the right Afrikaans word?
That's right, yeah. Liefde en lucht. Well, liefde en lucht, eigenlijk. Like, otherwise you're saying like love and lights. Like lights above me.
Love and lights.
I'll
Even
give you
better.
love
I
and
like it.
lights.
I like it more. I like
love
Not
and
just
lights.
one light. You get more than
Lights.
just one.
Dude,
Point
it's-
beer.
It's just one of the like a tree, the tree lights halo of light.
Get myself some lights, man. I actually want some better lights as well. Now that we're
Dude.
on that topic, like you can see, my footage is not.
Oh, thank
I mean,
God.
it's stuck again, and that just seems to be something that my camera does. The
I'm
problem is,
sorry.
Johan, like I don't know if it's the camera, the actual card, the little Elgato Camlink, or my
Mm.
computer. You know, if there was just some way for me to kind of
The-
have another
the
camera or
only-
something.
Yeah, another camera or one of us needs to plug that camera into another PC. That could be if you guys have another PC, go take the camera
That
and
is
plug it
actually
into
true.
that.
I can like
And-
get one of those conclusions.
I
Like, I
don't know,
mean,
I
unfortunately,
kind of like the position you're frozen in. You
I
look
was
very-
about to say the same thing. I was like, I'm okay with it. Like, at least I'm not pulling some sort of face.
There was a time.
Yeah,
there was a
I
time
remember
during this
that one.
podcast where I was like, "Is he okay, bro?"
Does he have a stroke?
hasn't moved in 10
He
minutes.
hasn't moved at all. He's like really into this conversation.
Oh, that's funny.
So stoic, dude. The ultra stoic doesn't move.
zen,
Doesn't
bro.
move. Oh man, it actually makes me think about this like GIF of a serial killer that committed.
I'm gonna kill you.
Please don't say
Please
Jeff.
don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't
that
do
guy.
it, dude.
What?
Be that
Don't be the guy that's gonna die.
No, no, no,
from
no,
the
no,
internet.
no, 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 no.
It's
Like
a
it was
GIF.
basically, it was
It's
like this-
okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, Estian.
a
But like, just go with Give, please.
You're the computer scientist.
Okay, I'm only now realizing what you two are going on about. GIF, excuse me. Fucking you, actuallys. Anyway, this GIF of the
Yeah.
serial killer that committed, or like basically admitted to the police that he did this. And during the entire interview, like a 2-hour interview, his torso doesn't move more than like 2 centimeters left or right for 2 hours.
Oh, dude.
2 hours, dude. How do you sit that still for 2 hours, man?
Called insanity.
It's
You
insanity.
see it. It's unnerving, dude. It's really unnerving watching that clip.
Yeah, that's why I was unnerved looking at you. Like, Estian?
See, body language is one of those things that I've said it before, but it's one of those things that I find so cool because it's a knowledge that you just have. You learn, you
No.
consciously learn about it. No, you consciously
No,
do.
You don't just have it. You don't just have it.
Listen,
Develop
listen.
it. You
No,
develop it.
So, but I didn't consciously do it. Like there's a thing called uncanny value. Oh, uncanny value or uncanny valley, I can't remember. But it's the term of, when you look at some CGI and you could just tell it's fake, even if it is like as close as you can make graphics look to human, you can tell something is just weird about it, or flames, or a body language. That
We're getting pretty damn close,
Yeah, we're
bro.
doing good
Yeah,
with
we
the new
are.
animated movies as well because we're
We are.
accentuating those body language. So what I want to like
I-
basically just say for Yuan to prove him right in a way, like as a baby, you gesture, oh, I want that thing, and you point. That is body
Yeah.
language. You don't have to be taught how to do something like that.
Well, the reason I was bringing it up is because we were talking about, how did I forget what we were talking about? We were just talking about like, oh yeah, the standing still and the not moving and that unnerving you. It's because you're used that people do this while we talk. It is something that you just intuitively know about. So when somebody doesn't do it, you recognize that something's wrong. You can't tell what it is most of the time, but you recognize that something's wrong.
I remember showing the movie Beowulf, the animated one, to my father, and it took him about halfway through the movie to be like, "Is this animated?" Like, yes, Dad. It is very
They're
animated.
very much animated.
Beowulf, wait, what is this?
Beowulf, bro, go look it up. When the time that it came out, it looked very real. It looked very, very real. And I think we're hitting that point where we can almost start animating things that actually look like real life.
Dude, have any of you watched the new what do you call it?
I
Love, Death,
loved
and Robots.
it was so good.
the, the Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh
There's
yes, the
two-
new ones.
Yeah, the season 2.
Excuse-moi.
Yeah, it's been out for like 2 months, 3 months.
Excuse-moi, I've missed out for 2
Yes.
months.
Yeah, it's second season. But there's 2 CGI ones in there, where the second one, it took me halfway through it to realize that it was CG. Me to realize it was CG. The other one you could tell from the beginning, but it looked fantastic. But there was another one. It's one in space. You'll know exactly which one I'm talking about because it stars what's his name? Michael B. Jordan, I think. But yeah, it's great. It's like the 7th episode, I think.
You want to talk about something that got butchered recently?
Oh no.
Space Jams. Space
Oh,
Jams.
I'm
No,
not
I'm not
gonna
gonna
watch
watch.
it.
I'm not
Horrible
watching it, dude.
things,
I
dude.
refuse. Like I have too
I
many
have
good
horrible-
memories from the old Space Jam movie as a kid, dude. Like they
But
completely.
I loved the
butchered.
first J.
Yo, dude.
Are you trying to look up the episodes? How
Yeah.
many episodes are there?
There's only 8. I was just trying to find it. It's called Life Hutch. That's the one that you need to watch.
Man, I'm
Life
gonna
Hutch.
probably go and binge them now. I shouldn't. I'm getting.
They're really good. No, go watch them. They're short. I think the entire season's maybe an hour.
Oh man, that sucked.
Yeah, but like when you know how Blender works,
That
dude.
is true. Yes, you
So,
did.
After
Like
learning
creating
a
a
little
10-minute. I told you, dude. Like
Yo,
creating a
dude,
10-minute video takes you
know.
like years, dude. Like it'll take you a year to create a 10-minute Blender video. Like
It's
excuse me, what?
bad.
It's so crazy, bro. Like it's very daunting.
Yeah, I gave up, bro. I'm gonna try again next year, but that shit is like I feel like you're gonna need to pay somebody to teach you, like sit you down and work through it with you.
I need 10,000 extra buttons, dude, in my brain.
Insane. It's insane.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, my friends, like we have been chatting for an hour. This has been a really blessed chat.
Yep.
Jy wins. Jy wen so.
Fuck you too. What do you
Ve-
mean?
Wens lekker. Oh,
Shit's funny.
Yo,
but like I hope that this recording actually turned out the way I hope it did. Like I kind of just shot
this is
from
gonna
the
be
side.
your frozen frame.
Just more
on the
my
side.
frozen
The
frame for the
entire-
entire yeah full frame, one face.
Let me get it right here. Like,
It's actually kind of uncanny. I'm looking back and forth. You have to tilt your head down a little bit.
Oh, that's funny as fuck. Boys, thank you so much.
I love you, dude.
all
So
right,
much,
boys.
I love you
Black
guys.
one.
so
See you at the next one. Bye bye.
Cheers.